Business is booming. But you know what really helped? Xero, the accounting platform for small businesses. I used to think spreadsheets were just part of it. Ugh. But real-time cash flow? Wow. Invoices that chase themselves? Even better. Books that automate? That's a big one. And I can keep track from my phone while I get the job done. No spreadsheet in sight. What a life. Do right by yourself and your business and search Xero for your free trial. Conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Magic. I am your host, Cathy Hackl, and this is the podcast where we talk about innovation, technology, the convergence of everything that's happening, just about everything happening in the gaming, branding, technology, and innovation space. And I am joined, as usual, by my co-host, Lee Kebler. Lee, how's 2025 going?
What a whirlwind. I'm still putting my thoughts together. I think both of our 2025s, this has been the longest year of the month. Like,
It's still January.
It's still January. I can't even say 1 down, 11 to go. We're still on.
We're still in January, and it's just getting started. But I have a feeling, Lee, that this is going to be a massively successful year for both of us and for the podcast, too.
I think so, too. It's just a lot going. I mean, you've been as busy as a year gets in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm following that pattern and doing my own series for like the next 2 months. And it's just, this might be one of the few times in the next couple of months where we're doing this podcast, both from the comfort of our own studios. I just don't know if that's going to be how it plays out for a while.
I don't know, but it's been a whirlwind. So CES, I was at CES for a couple of days, co-hosting the CES's first AI house, inaugural AI house, which was a huge success. Fantastic event put together by the team at Modev. They also put on a neurotech event. So it was the AI house and neurotech event. Super successful. I mean, sold out, standing room only. I mean, it was great. I opened up the AI house with a Future of AI panel where I had Nokia, Snap, Napster, several other folks there. And it was a fantastic panel with a different perspective. Enterprise, we had Fuel iX. And then we also had the X Prize. It was just a great combination of folks. Great perspective across different industries. Learned a lot, I have to tell you. And we can talk about this on a different episode. But Leslie Shannon, who's a good friend, works for Nokia, was talking about the AI RAN Alliance. RAN means Radio Access Networks. So this is a partnership between Ericsson and Nokia, first of all, who are competitors, right? Ericsson, Nokia, T-Mobile, NVIDIA, to put compute on 5G basis and bring AI and compute closer to us. So that means like lighter devices, faster compute, lower latency, just crazy stuff. So that's one of the things. I will tell you, one of my highlights from CES definitely was the Delta keynote, which had a whole thing about Roblox. It had Tom Brady. It had Lenny Kravitz. I mean, as star-studded as you can imagine. Jason Wong's NVIDIA's keynote, which he's just a rock star.
Yeah,
it was just, and AI everywhere. Everything was AI. I literally only saw like one reference to the metaverse, which I took a picture of because I was like, oh my goodness.
It's still alive.
Yeah, it's still alive. I saw it there. But it was AI on-device AI, which is something you and I have been talking about and you and I are working on. On-device AI was a huge theme as well. So yeah, CES was interesting. I'll tell you something cool that happened. and then I'm test driving right now. So my friend John V from Napster, he's the CEO of Napster. Napster's still around, by the way, guys. And he called me the godmother of the future.
Mm.
And I like it. Like, I like when someone gives me those titles, not myself. I don't give myself these titles. They just happen. So I'm testing it out. I'm trying to see how it feels. I tested it out in Dubai. So it's been interesting.
And how was Dubai?
Amazing. I have to tell you, part of the future is definitely in the Middle East. Dubai is such a vibrant city. The whole event was called the 1 Billion Follower Summit. It was all like creator economy. Don Allen Stevenson III, who's a good friend, was there. Shir Lazar was there. Like, just lots of amazing folks were there. It was cool because I got to see kind of like the creator economy in a different place than the US. Because you and I have been to BitCon.
Yeah.
We know the vibe. We know how it is in the US, very, Western centric. Same thing in the Middle East, though. It was interesting to see all these YouTubers and TikTokers and like with security details and like all these fans around them and just learning. But Dubai, hands off, amazing experience, amazing event. I hope we get to go. Maybe next year we can record the podcast there because I think that'd be a great place for us to do it and also, interview folks that are, not necessarily as US centric.
Now, my understanding is that in that region, like Snapchat is still incredibly popular. And there are a few like apps that probably weigh more on the user base geographically than they do here in the US. That's from like some of my own studies of trying to figure out like where certain apps have like the most influence. And Snapchat seems to be still wildly popular and heavily used in that area. Obviously, WhatsApp, I think, is another one that kind of like tops the charts. But you had mentioned TikTok, which kind of surprises me just because of everything that, we've seen happen in the last 48 hours. And again, we're recording on Monday. It'll go live on Wednesday. So I guess I never really thought much about TikTok as a platform outside of like the Western cultural use case.
It's interesting because during the whole TikTok ban, all those stuff, it was interesting because we have a very US-centric perspective on it, right? But the reality is that there's a huge, massive user base outside the US. Most of my family in Latin America, everyone's like, TikTok is big for them. Middle East, TikTok had a huge presence at the show. Snap did too, Instagram did too. It was interesting. It was just really interesting. TikTok really had a huge presence at the show. So TikTok continues to be huge outside the United States. So yeah, I think that's important for people to understand that even if for any reason they were to lose the US user base, they still have huge numbers outside of here. So I think it's like 13-15% of TikTok is the United States, but the rest is worldwide. Divided across many different geographies.
Sure.
It's crazy. But I'll tell you, Dubai is part of me. The Middle East is part of the future. I was very welcomed by the Dubai Future Foundation. Had amazing meetings there to talk about gaming. Their offices are the first buildings that were ever 3D printed.
Oh, yeah. I did see an article on that. Yeah, where they did it with the cement and all that.
So that was cool.
Really
Went to the Museum of the Future. They hosted me there. Just an amazing experience. Part of me believes a lot of the future does come from some of these emerging markets where they have very young, active creator economies, gaming economies, you name it, investment in the concept of the future. So I took Godmother of the Future for a test ride there and people responded very positively. And so John V, if you're listening, thank you for calling me that. We'll see if it sticks or not. I'm still trying to see how I feel about it.
Oh, I think it'll stick around. While you were gone, we got the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement. So that was a big deal for a little while. I was really shocked. We didn't get much. We got to see it. We'll hear more in April, but it does kind of look like whatever the entire Nintendo community was asking for, which is kind of a grown-up Nintendo Switch. It is a Nintendo Switch through and through. It's a little bit bigger. It's not as bright and colorful. It just looks a little bit more prosumer, and I think it will be a little bit more expensive with better hardware. And we are still waiting to hear back on what NVIDIA's role is in this. As you were saying, 2025 being a big year for tech, for good or for bad, I do think that you're right. And one of those, if not the most important company to keep an eye on right now, is NVIDIA.
Yeah.
They've just found a way to put their finger on the pulse of everything. And you can't get away from them. And they haven't really given you much reason to want to get away from them, which is unique for a tech company. They're just like, yeah, we do this thing. We do it very well. We do it better than everybody else. And you need it inside of literally everything. And we are quickly approaching, I think, the tipping point for them as a processor company. And it'll be interesting to see how GPUs kind of, I think, potentially start overtaking the CPU market.
Yep.
Which is going to be a whole different ballgame in conversation. But it's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride. I'll tell you this, like, whether it's good or bad, it is a huge year for tech. And I'm based in Washington, D.C. So obviously there's a lot of change happening here with the inauguration. And we're recording this on the Monday of Inauguration Day. I cannot tell you how much tech activity is on the ground here. It used to be only lobbyists, I'll be honest. Like before, when I used to go to the DC Tech Prom or any of those events, it was mostly lobbyists for tech. And there still will continue to be a huge amount of lobbyists here. But I'm starting to see definitely a lot more of that serious tech kind of community moving here. If anyone was watching the inauguration, there's no doubt that tech was in the house there. But definitely seeing, with Roblox opening offices here, with a lot more tech companies opening offices here, with a lot of these heads of technology buying houses here, it's going to continue. It's going to make Washington, D.C. a stronger tech hub, for good or for bad. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a political person, but I've been invited to like several balls and activities here because it's AI conversation is crazy. The blockchain crypto conversation is like, I don't know. I'm having technology conversations in DC that I don't think I would have ever had, which is to me a big signal of a shift there in Silicon Valley and DC getting closer together. So whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But I do know it's a moment for technology and for the space economy as well.
And I feel compelled to say one thing, and this is non-political. I think that we just need to take a very kind of somber approach to our own mindset around technology. I am definitely the cold water, wet blanket when it comes to this show. So here it comes, buckle up. If any of this concerns you, and I'm not here to tell you if it should or shouldn't, I have my own personal opinions of that will stay my own. But I think that it's necessary for people to remember, if something makes you uncomfortable that you're seeing, you don't have to use those services. You can log off. You can find an alternative. You can go somewhere else. You can cancel subscriptions. You are in control of your own autonomy, and it is up to you. As much as the technology battle is for your eyes, they don't leave your head. And I think that people forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've had a wild, unexpected week when it comes to social media.
Everyone, what happened with you? Because I'm still like trying to make sense of it.
You
like,
and
you're defying
both.
gravity here. Like I'm still like, I'm to play on Wicked, you're like defying gravity with everything that's happened with your Instagram. So tell folks what's going on.
Yeah. So, okay, first and foremost, I am not a social media person. Like that's just never been my thing.
Never been.
Never. I don't care. I just don't care. Never. And so I have an Instagram that I squat on social media addresses just so people don't get my name, and then I go do my own thing. That's about as deep as it ever gets for me. But I had an Instagram that I just put some of my really not good music stuff on. That's just all experimental for 200 people that I know to get feedback and talk about projects. And it's how I was organizing shows here in Portland, Oregon. So I went and played a small record store back in this late December. Specs Records, shout out to Specs Records. They are fantastic if you're in Portland, Oregon and you collect vinyl because you're old school like I am. And they did Lo-Fi Fest. Everyone's probably somewhat familiar with lo-fi beats from YouTube or things like that.
Yeah.
And that's the type of genre of music that I've been doing for the last couple of years. So I went and I played this show. And in the middle of the show, I decided to do an impromptu beat. And I literally had to play it. It was not pre-recorded. I was working on it and it's like, I'm bored with this show. I'm going to throw something weird in, where I just remixed some music off of the Pac-Man theme, literally sampled from the arcade machine.
Super fun.
30 seconds. It's a 30. It was a dope beat. People really liked it. It was shot with a cell phone. I uploaded it to Instagram and I sent it to a few friends and I was like, hey, check this out, and went to bed. And when I woke up the next morning, the algorithm got me. I do not understand how this works. So if I do tech talks, don't hire me to tell you how the algorithm works. That's not a talk you're going to get from me because I am absolutely bonkers clueless right now. But I woke up and this thing started trending. I had people who didn't know I was on Instagram go, "You're on Instagram? The live feed just sent this to me." This is kind of like blowing up. And then over the course of 48 hours, I went from 200 followers, whoop-de-doo, to like 16,000.
You have more followers than I do.
I have more followers than Cathy now. Over a 30-second Pac-Man arcade beat that I played in the smallest but awesome record shop in Portland, Oregon. And it just turned my entire social media upside down now, because the video went to like over 2 million views. It's got 130,000 likes. I don't know how to calculate all of this. It just went bonkers. And I guarantee you there are people who are currently listening to this podcast going, "I saw that video. That's him."
Yeah.
Yes. It is unrelated to any effort of this show or myself or marketing. That wasn't boosted. That wasn't advertised.
It was organic. It was organic growth, which is very hard to find on social nowadays.
Yes.
But it still happens.
It does still happen, and I cannot tell you why. I've got friends who own PR companies who are studying the video, trying to figure out, why did the algorithm put this video?
Why did the algorithm? I think the algorithm just really likes Pac-Man.
That tells you something.
Built identified. I don't know. I mean, it's dope. Don't get me wrong, but it's amazing to watch what has happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And I feel like this is what I was observing. It's like you were trying to find you were just using Instagram for fun, and you're trying to find your vibe.
Yeah.
Like, what was going on? And now I'm like, you found it. Like, that's it. When I see you posting more and more stuff, and it's vibing. Like, people are vibing on it. It's workingly. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it does seem to be working.
It's organic. I love seeing an organic growth story like that.
Yeah, it's been wild. And like, I really got a good insight to, the bots didn't come at first. The bots didn't come until way later. Those bot accounts don't really start hitting until like about a week if something organically blows up. Now, I don't know what happens prior to that. And you can tell because you can see comments that are legitimized. And it just got to a point where I had to turn my phone off.
Oof. Yeah, no.
Notifications turned off. And by and large, with the exception of a handful, and I literally mean maybe I could count it on two hands, the rest were really positive comments, really positive connections, very little that was divisive, nothing that was political.
Oh, come on, Pac-Man. Yeah, I hope no one goes into, like, come on. We all love Pac-Man. I think everyone can agree on that.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. But yeah, that happened.
So here's a question for you. So are you now an influencer?
I sure hope not. Maybe, but I hope not. Outside of the podcast, this is the only place that I care to have any influence. Like, unless people like the music that I'm doing, in which case, yeah. But oh my goodness, it just kind of threw a wrench into things, but in a good way.
Wrench, a very positive wrench.
Yeah. That's
lively.
Yeah. It was something else. But yeah, that was me. That was my last couple of weeks on social media, which is not necessarily where I normally spend my time. Yeah. Trying to figure out, where things...
You know what you need to do? You need to bring Beanie in to your music. So then you have music and Puppy together, and the algorithm's just going to go crazy.
Yeah, Beanie does have her own Instagram, Beanie on the Bluffs. It's the cutest. It's the cutest dog in the world. But yeah, and that led me to start dissecting. My curious brain starts dissecting why did these things happen? Where are things going? That got me looking into Blue Sky. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I kind of love Blue Sky.
Really? Okay.
I do.
Tell me more. Tell me why you like it. Because I'm like, right now, like I shut down my Twitter, but I'm still thinking maybe I'll go back. And then Threads is just not doing much for me. I'm not feeling it.
Threads feels fake.
Yeah,
like listen.
I'm like, Instagram is like my fun thing, like my personal fun thing, etc. I share more about my personal life there. My LinkedIn is still my strongest, right? And I love LinkedIn. I will always love LinkedIn.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to pass you on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is my love, like my first social. Like I love LinkedIn. But yeah, like Blue Sky, tell me more. Because I hear all kinds of, I tried Mastodon once. Like, no, it's just not my vibe.
Mastodon didn't make sense to me either. Yeah. I understand why like the tech community loves Mastodon. I really do. But you really got to be kind of in the weeds to understand why it's valuable. And maybe it's anyone's game, really. But Blue Sky does absolutely remind me of Twitter in 2013.
In the early days.
Yeah. It is where you go for like information from people. You can find articles. The filtering is amazing. You are not getting fed things you do not want. So like that alone is worth its weight for me to be able to, you can create things like your own feeds that can be all different and curated so that you can say, okay, I'm going to log in to see if there's anything new about this particular topic.
Yeah.
So from your former journalism perspective and from my broadcast perspective, just getting breaking news and things like that properly distributed, I think this is going to be an incredibly strong platform. They did something very unique that brought back the value of owning your own personal domain name. So on Blue Sky, I own Keebz.com, Keebz.com. 5-letter domain name. I've owned it since I started DJing. That's how you find me on Blue Sky, is if you own your own domain name, that domain name is your Blue Sky account. So if you want to know how to find me on Blue Sky, you just search for Keebz.com and that's me. So there's something interesting there when it comes to, and this is what I finally put it together. It is the blue check mark.
Got it.
See what I'm saying? You're not having to pay for it. You don't have to prove it. If you own that domain name, that's you, right?
Yeah.
So it's converting this whole arbitrary pay for play, blue check mark garbage into, look, if you own the domain name, that's obviously your account. So you cannot go squat on Coca-Cola.com. You can't go squat on Pepsi.com. If you've gotten that domain name, that becomes how people find you.
That's so interesting. That's so good because I feel like this. Yeah. I mean, I remember when the blue check marks were the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I got I was verified maybe 2016, 2017 on Twitter. First one, because I had a really good relationship with Periscope. So Periscope verified me, and then Periscope got acquired by Twitter, now X. And then I remember I got Facebook, and the Instagram was the hardest one at that point. LinkedIn, I got it too. But yeah, like that's when it was like, okay, it's actually me, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, like that's gone out the window. So I like that because that way you own the domain. It proves there's only one Pepsi.com.
Right.
Right.
If you have it, it's yours and it can't get squatted on.
There's only one NBA.com. So if you have it, you are rightfully the owner of this. That's really interesting. So I'm going to spend some more time in it. I'm going to spend some more time there.
No, it's not as active as like Instagram or Twitter because, well, it might actually be more active than Twitter. I don't know. I haven't been on Twitter for years.
What is happening there in Twitter? I mean, I just don't. But I
really didn't think it was going to be as competitive as it was until I went back and started remembering what it was like to use Twitter in 2013 and why I liked it. And there was such a better ease of curation.
I used to love it. Yeah.
And it feels like the very first social media that actually did something with hashtags. The hashtags work. They do a thing. You can build your feeds off of them. There's an influencer play where you can create what's called a starter pack. So people come and find you and you'd be like, hey, this is what I'm into. I'm Lee Kebler. I'm into virtual reality. Here's my virtual reality starter pack. It'll tell you who I'm following that's within that area and all of the feeds and channels that are also feeding that. So people can find you and quickly dive into your area of expertise.
Well, I think this goes to a really interesting point. The conversations you and I have had about the future of the internet, the future of community, etc. I just feel, and coming from my experience at 1 Billion Follower Summit, is that community continues to become more fragmented, like where we decide to go, where we decide to pay attention. Like, I think the concept of mass market, you and I have had this conversation. Is there even like a mass market moment anymore? Like, are we all watching the same thing? Because I don't think we are.
No.
And yeah, I don't know.
I could tell you we're not watching the same thing because I watched the Golden Globes and didn't know about like 3/4 of the shows that were there. And I will say this, watching the Golden Globes and like those type of things actually turned me on to new shows that I didn't know existed because we are in a fragmented technological society and we're not being fed the same thing. Heck, within the next 4 years, state by state will have different internet. That's not political. That's what's happening.
Well, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And I mean, the Supreme Court just heard the arguments around Texas and age verification for, adult entertainment or porn or whatever you call it.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it continues to get more and more fragmented. That's on a state-by-state basis here in the United States, let alone when you head out of the United States and you start to understand that this is like geopolitically, the internet is very different as well in other places.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get more divided, right?
It will.
Actually, there's a term I was listening. So the World Economic Forum has their annual meeting every year in Davos. I was scheduled to be there. I had some issues come up with travel, so I was not able to make it, but I'm still following the program virtually because I am a member of several initiatives and following kind of what's going on the ground. Obviously, AI is part of the conversation, but there is obviously this geopolitical conversation happening around a polarization, like a bipolarization of US versus China for dominance in AI, dominance in technology, dominance in influence, dominance in infrastructure, dominance in chips, like everything. This kind of push-pull of two different mentalities or visions of the future. So to me, it's really interesting to look at everything that's happening, the conversations. Another thing related to Davos that I think is interesting is what I'm starting to see, and because of all the travel I'm doing, is a further emergence of, well, I'm going to use emergence twice, but the further emergence of emergent tech hubs, of new regions of growth, new regions where things are starting to happen, younger generations, all these sorts of things. And that's where I point towards the Africa and like the time I'm spending in South Africa. I'm going back in October. I'm spending more and more time there, understanding the growing demographics, right? And the power that's happening in there. Middle East, Arab Emirates. I'm going to Riyadh in a couple of weeks for LEAP and for Deep Fest, doing some talks there. I'm going to Miami for FII's priority event, where I'm going to be interviewing a few folks for the podcast and articles. That's all Middle East related. So really interested. They're doing a lot to invest in the future, doing a lot to invest in new ways of making cities, investing in gaming. I mean, gaming, it's like crazy what's going on there. And then you look at emerging Asia, and then you look at Latin America. I don't know, like, I think it's really interesting for us to kind of sometimes get out of our hyper-focused US-centric approach to understand the context geopolitically, what's happening with the internet and with digital.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have this sinking feeling in the back of my head that so much of what is being invested in are specifically distraction technologies.
Okay.
I mean, if we look at the conversations that are currently happening, it's almost all around social media, with or without, inside the country, outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what hit me. I have one video where I can see the real statistics of what 2 million viewers look like, right?
Yeah.
And as I looked through those statistics, it has over a year worth of playtime already. Within a week, it had a year worth of playtime.
Yeah.
It's a 30-second clip. I don't like that. That means that of the people, and I'm thankful for people who like the music, but of the people who went and watched that clip, a year worth of human
time
experience went into a 30-second Pac-Man beat. Where can our efforts be better taught? Like, it is great that I'm seeing more interest in like the tech field, but that can't happen without interest in the education that takes people to dominate in the tech field.
Yeah.
And I don't hear that conversation happening because right now it's about distractive technologies.
Attention. How to monetize attention, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting for me to see how education is unfolding in other places.
Right.
Right. As opposed to the model that we continue to have in the United States, which is really outdated. I don't know. I mean, I am really bullish on the younger demographics, the Gen Cs, the Gen Alphas, the Gen Betas. By the way, welcome to the world, Gen Betas. You've been around for 20 days now. We don't know what you're spending your money on yet because you're not buying anything other than diapers and milk, but and diaper balls.
What a bumpy entry, but here you are.
But welcome to the world, Gen Beta. By the way, for people listening, Gen Beta is the new generation that started being born January 1st at midnight.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm bullish about the newer generation, these newer kids. I hope we do right by them. But what you're saying,
it resonates.
Hurts my heart a little bit. It's true. It's about
I know. I'm not saying it's easy. And honestly, this podcast itself could be somewhat of a distraction tool. It is of both of our efforts to make sure that there is some form of education that's put into it, even if it's to each other, right? Like, I think that when people communicate, you have the opportunity to put out ideas that aren't easy to process. In the second that this just becomes a tech review show, I quit. That's not what I do. Well, don't make a tech review show. I won't. And that's not what this is.
I think it's good because we both learn from each other, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I feel like people love that also because they learn from us and our different perspectives. So I agree with you. It's, a lot to think about there. This is deep. What a good episode for 2025.
I think it's the right way to kick it off. Again, everyone, do the things you like. And if you see something you don't like, turn it off.
Turn it
You
off.
can do it. I believe in you.
You have control over your life. I think that that's really important, right? All right. So let's go on break, Lee, and then we'll come back and continue our conversation.
This message is brought to you by Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. And this is more than an ad. This is an invitation to be part of the stories the world can't stop watching, to connect with moments that dominate the conversation, to participate in culture, not just advertise around it. With the most sought-after IP, passionate audiences, and an advanced AI-powered foundation, WBD advertising transforms attention into influence and impressions into outcomes. This is innovation. This is impact. This is opportunity. This is Warner Brothers Discovery Advertising. Visit advertising.wbd.com to learn more.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them? That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Business is booming, but you know what really helped? Xero, the accounting platform for small businesses. I used to think unpaid bills were just part of it. Ugh. But batch payments? Wow. Automated accounts payable? Even better. All in one place. That's a big one. And I can keep track from my phone while I get the job done. No bills in sight. What a life. Do right by yourself and your business and search XERO for your free trial. Conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
All right. So that was deep. Yeah. The attention economy. I love the creator economy because I think creators are really creative. Like, I don't know. I gave this really interesting speech in Dubai and I said, this is your moment. If you embrace the tools, if you empower yourself, if you focus on the connections that you're making, like at events there, this is your future for the taking. This is your moment to build and create. And I'm very positive. I'm very excited about the future. A little bit maybe more positive.
The creator economy, like for people who actually participate in it from a professional level, they have a lot of self-education. But I also think that a lot of that self-education wouldn't exist without specifically YouTube.
Good point.
Because if you've never done this before, you have to figure out, wait, how do I set up a camera? What does lighting look like? How do I get my microphone to work with an interface to my computer? So there's a lot happening of self-education in that space. I mean, heck, yesterday I had to fix my washing machine and I was able to do it thanks to YouTube. There's good, valuable stuff in social media. That is not at all what I'm trying to get at. But I think really what I'm getting at is the short form stuff, like the reels, you know, the stuff that's like flickable. Flickable content is the attention economy. And that does bother me.
Well, yeah, because it's literally just consuming the content. That's something I said on stage in Dubai was it is a shift from content that we're just consuming, right?
Yeah.
That attention economy to, I feel, especially with gaming, being more social, more participatory. There's focus.
Agreed.
You're doing something, you're creating something, you're participating with someone on something, not just consuming the content on whether it's doom scrolling, whether just kind of like the algorithm feeding you all these sorts of things.
And let's be real. You can't learn anything from short form content. You can't truly learn anything. There's not enough time. You can be sold something and you can be distracted.
Well, that's why long form in video podcast, like the podcast becoming a video element, that's because you're actually staying for the whole thing. You're learning. You're kind of like dedicating some headspace to something to truly try to understand something. So I agree with you. I think there's a very, very big difference there for sure.
Yeah, but that's the state of where things are right now. And so technology grows, it changes, platforms change. Anyone who thinks that a platform is infallible didn't live through MySpace.
Yeah. Tumblr.
You know? And it can change on a dime. So where we are today might not be where we are tomorrow. That's why I was talking about blue sky earlier. I think that there could be something there. It could be nothing. I don't know.
Well, and owning your connection to your community and your community being able to access and to communicate with you and everything. So I think that that's very powerful.
Yeah.
No matter the platform, like you don't own your users. I mean, I think it might be different like in Blue Sky or Mastodon. I think there's some other stuff there where it's, you can actually bring your followers with you or whatever. But I think it's very different in some of the other platforms.
And those platforms will continue to have to change.
Well, are they changing for better? We'll have to see. Some
and
are.
That's where it's up to the users to decide what they want to spend their time and their energy on. Our listeners spend their time with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts from. And that is a long form. We're running on, a 30-minute podcast, sometimes 45 minutes. And that's great. That's where you can find specific information. And maybe you're just like listening to us when you're like on a walk or driving to work. Hey, that's cool too. Keep your eyes on the road, please. But I do get worried when it comes to how our information intake is going to change over the next couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, if we extend it further, and I think we've had this conversation before, it's virtual trust, digital trust, virtual air rights. Oh my gosh, it's about to get a little bit more complicated,
Yeah, and the splinternet is coming,
Yeah.
We saw TikTok come and go in less than 24 hours, less than 12 hours? That was the fastest about face I've ever seen.
You're like, we're not going anywhere.
That was crazy. That was a psyop. I don't know what that was. That was just...
It was whiplash. That's what that was. I was like, whoa.
It gave me a headache.
It's off, but it's on, and now I don't know. And then like, who is it that is trying to merge with them? Oh, Complexity AI.
Yeah.
Complexity AI is trying to merge. And I'm just kind of like, I can't manage all this. And then meme coins. And I'm just like overwhelmed.
I am kind of interested about I kind of think the whole meme coin thing may finally, I know you don't want to talk about this, but you said the word. It's like, remember Pee Wee Herman where it's like, you said the magic word. You said the magic word.
Meme coins. Oh my gosh.
There's a part of me that's super hopeful that whole just absolute train wreck will de-hype just crypto for a little bit. Just blow the wind out of the sails for a little bit and get things back to normal. I don't know.
No, it's not. I mean, I'm a big proponent and believer in blockchain. I think blockchain is an amazing underlying architecture and technology, peer-to-peer, traceability, etc. Crypto, oh my gosh, I own crypto. I think we both do. Like, I don't put anything crypto that I don't want to lose. And, I've gained a lot, obviously, throughout the last couple of months, which is unreal. But still, like, I don't know, the whole meme coin thing. I mean, it's fun, but I don't know. It's confusing and I don't know.
It's nothing. Let's educate the listeners here a little bit. If you are absolutely confused at what meme coin is, it's nothing. Don't waste your time.
You can bet on something, a very, very extremely speculative asset.
It's almost like paying someone to slap you. I wouldn't even say it's a speculative investment. Like,
because you could put some money in, wait a couple of days and get it out. And then you made a ton of cash. I mean, and then wait a couple hours and it's down. I don't know.
Or you could just stand on the edge of a cliff and tell someone to push. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I have to admit, I know people that are making money off of meme coins. They get in quick. They get a lot of money in that shoots to the moon, and then they get out. I don't know if a lot of people are holding too much. But some people do believe in it. I don't know.
It's not for me.
Situation. I will tell you, like, oh my gosh, crypto, blockchain. I mean, there's such a revival right now in DC. It's like crazy. And then space economy, which is something that I'm involved in, work around space brands and space commerce. Yes, the space race to Mars now, apparently, not just the moon, but to Mars, is going to heat up. It's so super interesting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years with this. I don't know.
But I would really love to hear like some positive investment in our technology and infrastructure when it comes to like cancer research and like disease control and things like that. Like just like, and it is happening. It is happening, but the voices aren't talking about it. right? And I think that that's kind of one of those things where, I don't know, we're getting kind of distracted by a lot of conversation that is like, it is almost like goosenecking a car wreck, where it's like, wait, what am I watching here? How is this happening? This year, I would love to see some major strides in technologies that like benefit all of human experience.
Well, here's one that I'll tell you I found really interesting. It's run by a friend of mine. And I mean, I was in Dubai watching Bloomberg. And all of a sudden, I see my friend Ben Lamb on it. He's the CEO of Colossal Bioscience. So I know Ben from when he was in AI and XR. And then he went on to found Colossal Bioscience. They just got a huge funding round, huge investment. What they're working on, they're known, I mean, obviously the PR play here, and they're known for trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. That's what people were like, hang on to. But after conversations with him, like the work that they're trying to do for de-extinction and helping species that are potentially going to be extinct is really interesting and I think powerful, right? And really,
absolutely.
whether, I mean, there's obviously the more eccentric part, which is the woolly mammoth, and they are working on some artificial wombs, which I know scares people, and they have a 17-person team working on that. But to me, it's interesting to see the work that they're doing in Africa, for example, or in Asia, working with some of these animals that are close to extinction. And how do you save a white rhino, for example, or how do you save the biology of these animals? So that's, for me, regardless of the other stuff, like I'm really interested in what he's doing from the biological perspective, right?
Absolutely.
And they just got a whole bunch of funding. So I love seeing that, right? I love seeing that. And I love my friends like Synesthesia getting a huge bump in funding. They're AI, they're, huge in the UK. But yeah, I also love seeing this other side of technology getting funding as well, which is not just AI. I mean, obviously they use AI in some ways, but they're more of a biological kind of
you and I both
innovation
said
company.
That AI is not a product to invest in, right? Like AI is the means to an end. It's how compute
hypercharge innovation across multiple industries, depending on what the industry is. So
which is great. I'm all for that. That excites me because those are how we're going to find faster those other areas.
Better solutions for humanity, right? At the end of the day, we're still on Earth. We're not on Mars yet. We got to survive here and live here and make this planet better. So we'll see. Well, we'll have to see how that all goes. I do want to mention some interesting news because you and I have had this conversation and everything, and being someone that was married for a long time and then wasn't and had to get on the dating apps, I keep tracks of what's going on with dating tech just because it's a field that I'm really interested in, a field that I want to kind of launch some products in. But yeah, I mean, dating apps have not had a great time. Financially, it's been pretty bad for them, shares and everything. But Bumble, Whitney Wolfe Herd, who used to be the CEO, is back.
Oh, okay.
She's back.
Huh.
It's like, don't call it a comeback, but she's back. Yeah. So we're going to have to see what happens if they go back to the old style of women make the first move, because that was kind of like changed with the CEO they had, the prior CEO.
Now, I saw something about this, and it was like the CEO they had did not stay for very long.
No, she wasn't there for a long time. She was fantastic, though. She was a very nice woman. And
No, not Whitney. The one in interim.
The one before Whitney. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I wasn't really familiar because that's an area of news.
That's how world you're in because you're married, happily married.
Right.
And you don't have to do that.
That's not in my blue sky feed. So I don't know what's happening.
Part of my world. I get my dating psychology from Instagram.
Oh no, it's just Pac-Man music over there.
Pac-Man music. But yeah, I always keep tabs on what's going on with dating tech because it's a sector that I find interesting that I personally want to disrupt through many different ways. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what kind of comes back, how this works. There's also new funding for an AI dating coach called Ari. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in that space. So I don't know. I don't feel like my future is my AI agent dating someone else's AI agent and then figuring out if we meet in the physical world. I mean, it could be the future, but like at the end of the day, if you are a physical person and you're looking for a physical companion in the physical world, you're going to have to meet. And, sometimes you meet and something doesn't work out. You don't like how they smell or something, right?
But
so it's just in my AI agents, I don't know if the future is my AI agent.
If it's all a relationship, I could definitely see a space where an AI assistant is able to work with another AI assistant and at least find places where, because you and I both do speaking engagements and things like that, where like, okay, that would go so much faster. Oh my goodness, that would go so much faster.
Yeah, I do love that, but I don't want my AI agent to take over my free will.
No, it would
whether
just.
this person is somebody I want to have a relationship with. So,
But it would be nice if, like, every week you got a report and said, "Hey, these areas are people that have gone through these things, and I've gone through this stuff, and now I think that you should consider speaking here, 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 and here," and then hand it over. That would be really nice.
oh well, yeah, for speaking, yes,
Yeah.
I agree. But for dating, I don't know. I don't know if I want
Oh,
to
no,
hand that
no,
off
no.
to an AI. I'm not sure I
don't
want
do
the
that.
AI to make those decisions for me just yet.
That would be weird.
Although, I mean, AI knows us pretty well. Like, I think you and I do this. We maybe tell too much to ChatGPT or Claude. They know too much about us.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
They know
It's
too
just
much.
some of those prompts I've thrown in there, like, based on everything you know about me, help me figure out X, Y, and Z. Like, oh, Lord, that is way too accurate.
Yeah. I'll be like, forget this conversation, please. Don't forget this person's name.
And it winks at you and says, "Forgotten."
We got it. Erasing from my training.
Sure.
This LLM is no longer training on that data. Mhm. So we'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, anyway, I think it's been a really good conversation, Lee, to start off.
Yeah, a little heavy, but there it is. We do need to go to Lily with Dispatch from the Fringe. She's got an interesting one, part of my favorite part of CES. So Lily, go ahead and take that away real quick.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them. That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Business is booming. But you know what really helped? Zero. The accounting platform for small businesses. I used to think spreadsheets were just part of it. Ugh. But real-time cash flow? Wow. Invoices that chase themselves? Even better. Books that automate? That's a big one. And I can keep track from my phone while I get the job done. No spreadsheet in sight. What a life. Do right by yourself and your business and search XERO for your free trial. Conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hello, Cathy and Lee. Welcome to this week's Dispatch from the Fringe. Today, I have 5 weird tech gadgets that nobody asked for, according to Tech Radar, at CES in 2025. The first is a little robot called Mirumi, and it looks like a stuffed animal that is designed to attach to your handbag. It has little sensors in it that will turn its little head and react to people as they come near. So if you know anyone who likes little handbag accessories, check out this robot. Next, we have an electronic spoon that is designed to help control your salt intake. It can make food seem saltier without adding extra salt. And it does this by using a mild electric current to concentrate sodium ion molecules to add saltiness to low sodium foods. The spoon can detach from the handle, which has the power and menu buttons, so you can select between 4 different options of saltiness. Next, we have an all-in-one toothbrushing experience, the Willow Auto Flow Plus, designed for kids 5 to 13 years old. I'm not sure it'll totally work on the smaller kids, but this toothbrush is designed to do it all. At the push of a button, the Willow toothbrush automatically dispenses the perfect amount of toothpaste and uses continuous suction to remove any liquid throughout brushing to create a smooth, mess-free routine. We'll see about the mess-free part. Next, we have the new Wonder Nature tech product announcement. It is from the creators of Bird Buddy, who created another technology device, a new nature-inspired camera. It's called Petal, and it's a modular biodiversity system. So it's designed to attract insects and birds so that you can see them up close on an app from your phone. They want you to be able to reimagine your relationship with nature, and they want to create a world that feels more alive and interactive than ever. Finally, we have a mixed reality makeup mini try-on studio. And this is different than AR filter makeups because this device can track facial movements, and customers can try on countless makeup designs in real 3D space, which can apparently help them choose their products faster and with more fun than conventional try-on makeup filters. So this device uses a high-speed projection mapping technology so people can see the makeup directly on their face as opposed to a filter. And those are 5 weird gadgets from CES 2025. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Dispatch from the Fringe.
And there we go. 7 weirdest gadgets at CES. I always love, whenever I went to CES, I didn't go this year, but whenever I go to CES, it's always like in the basement of like the Venetian or something like that. There's like this secret, dark corner of the conference where people who have the wildest ideas have taken their last $10 and spent it on a booth. And if this doesn't work, it's the end. And you can just feel the pressure. And that is where you see the future. It's also where you see a lot of failure, but it is 100% where you see innovation and risk taking. Everything above ground is like, yeah, we kind of knew all of this. It was already in a TechCrunch article, but that basement, oh, I love that basement so much.
I'll tell you how it works. So yes, the Venetian has like the startup area and then like all these like a pavilion for every country. And most people don't get to do this. I get to go as an analyst in media, but they have a couple day or two before everything opens up. There's the media days and there's CES Unveiled. So it's usually a trends keynote, which is fantastic. And then there's CES Unveiled. There's also Showstoppers. There's PepCon. There's all of these things that showcase startups with really cool innovation. And that's a lot of what people see on the first days. And that's where a lot of some of these crazy gadgets come from. And then you see them on the show floor.
All right. What was the craziest thing you saw? The weirdest, like, surely something sticks out in your brain of like, oh, of all the things, I didn't think I'd see that.
Well, I will tell you. I mean, I was a little disappointed sometimes, but I would say I really liked several things. One was this company that's doing hormone testing at home for $8 a test.
Whoa.
Amazing. I was like, oh, wow. So you could check your hormones on a constant basis. I thought that was really interesting. There was another company that had this special mirror that connects to all your medical devices and kind of becomes like your hub.
I saw that. You posted about that. That was neat.
That was really cool because that like you literally can get on that every day and it'll measure everything and like put everything in context in this dashboard. So I love that. And then there was this other company that had this drone that you could fly yourself in that came out of the back of a car. So it's like, it was this weird thing. I don't even know what they called it. Oh my gosh, your own aircraft carrier. I can't remember, but it was really, really interesting to see it. Like I was like, wow.
It comes out of the car and is basically a drone that you can ride.
In the back of the car, and then it just comes out and opens up, and then you can fly this thing. I mean, did I see it fly? No, because it was on the show floor, but the video said it did. So stuff like that. And then there was a lot of Korean beauty, like beauty stuff, which I, geeked out on. Yeah, you just can never see everything. And then there's stuff you see behind closed doors that no one can talk about till who knows. So yeah, I mean, lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of robots. Lots of robots. Always.
I'm going to my form of CES this week.
Tell us where you're going.
NAMM 2025 NAMM show, which is it's basically like CES for musicians, for music tech. So I'll have a lot of stuff getting posted there. If you're interested in like what the future of music production looks like, that'll be on my Instagram and all of that stuff. So I'll be at NAMM for the following week, and I'll probably have to record part of next week's show from there. But this should be a good time. And there's always something interesting to see there. There's some really interesting, there's going to be a lot of AI. I guarantee it.
Everywhere. Yeah.
But there's a lot that's happening in trackability of motion and stuff like that I think we're going to see this year. And so, more of that to come. I'll let you know if I see anything
Right.
amazing.
Maybe you'll go viral from there. We'll see.
Again, I can't handle it. I couldn't do that. I can't do that twice. That's
I saw Will, by the way.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
Creator
Will, yeah.
Space. He was at the Creator Space and LG party and stuff. So
yeah,
he was
he's got
very,
a
very
new
present. And he had some announcements with, I think it was LG. Can't remember.
LG
but
has new
it was LG. It
earbuds.
was with
Yeah.
LG. He had some stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. So I'm in DC for a couple of days because I didn't go to Davos, even though I'm still participating from afar. So staying back, then probably Scottsdale. I have a meeting there. Might stay for a day or two because they do a lot of wellness stuff, and I'm in kind of like that find myself kind of era. It is the year of the snake in the Chinese New Year, so it's about shedding what doesn't work for you and moving on. So that, and then off to Riyadh for Leap and for Deep Fest, doing 2 keynotes there on the future of computing, and then one on the multimodal metropolis, so future of cities.
And thank you for reminding me, because I do need to give a shout out to Treefort Music Festival. I will be speaking, I'll be keynoting their technology portion called Hackfort. And then a band that I'm playing with will be playing at main stage on that Saturday night. That will be in March. For those who don't know what the Treefort Music Festival is, it's kind of like South by Southwest when it was very indie. It is a great conference. They're bringing tech really heavily into it. So I'm actually doing both sides of this, which I love. I very rarely get to kind of like do both. So I'm super excited about this. So for people who want to learn more about that, it's in Boise, Idaho, Treefort Music Festival. Check it out. And Hackfort will be their technology portion. But before we wrap up, I always recommend some music that you've never heard of or have long forgotten about. And this week's recommendation is a jazz classic that I love, love, love. It's called Road Song by Wes Montgomery. Released in 1968. It was Montgomery's final album, recorded just months before his untimely passing. The record is beautifully showcasing his soulful, innovative guitar work. He was a guitarist, and his guitar in this is amazing, paired with a really rich orchestra arrangements that both feel somehow like very intimate but big. So you might want to check that out. It's more than just an album. It's a really poignant farewell because it was his last album, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. And really it's just like an inspiring legacy to listen to. So that is Road Song, Wes Montgomery. Check it out if you're into music that resonates really deeply and tells a story. I think it's a must listen. It's what I'm listening to in the morning while I drink coffee. Kathy, are you reading anything? What's your recommendations?
I'm always reading something. I'm always reading something. This one is a book that just came out. Her name is Jillian Turecki. She has a podcast called Jillian on Love. It's called It Begins With You, The 9 Hard Truths About Love That Will Change Your Life. Great book for anyone who is out there. Anyone, you could be dating or already in a relationship. Great book. I'm hoping to get Jillian on our podcast to talk about the future of relationships and technology. Fantastic book. So highly, highly recommend. And then I also want to remind folks, most people don't know this, but well, not most people, but a lot of people listening to our podcast don't know this, but because it is very relevant, Adweek has partnered with AI Trailblazers to launch the AI Trailblazers Awards, and nominations are currently open.
Oh, cool.
So check that out. It's with Adweek and AI Trailblazers, our friend Greg Kahn, who's over there. So yeah, if you want to nominate someone, please check it out.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning into Tech Magic, where we always invite you to come for the tech, stay for the magic. I'm Lee Kebler here with the incredible Cathy Hackl. Special thanks, as always, to our producer, Lily Snyder, and to Adweek for bringing this show to you. If you'd enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. Let us know what you think. We'd love to connect with you. Just search for Tech Magic, Cathy Hackl, or me, Lee Kebler. You will find us. We'll be back next week.